Hey guys, can you hear me? Oh, nice, nice. All right, I think this whole thing starts at 4:30. I'm not sure if we just present it like this or is like in a stage that I do. I guess we'll just wait. If any one of you guys know how to use this hopping tool, just let me know. All right, sounds good. Let's just wait for a little bit. I think this thing starts at 4:30. Meanwhile, you'll just look at my awkward face, I guess. I'm good, thanks. So yeah, we are Jimmy, my co-founder. He is here in the chat as well. So if you have any questions that I cannot answer while I'm presenting, he'll answer your questions. No, you don't need to download anything. And Dev, we're gonna walk over the Dropbase demo, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about it just in a second. Makes dubstep music, yeah, it does. Well, that would be one challenge. Like try to figure out how to make dubstep music with Dropbase, and we would certainly be impressed. Hey, Kelvin, how are you? Good. I think there were many people that signed up for this thing. I'm not sure how many people we're going to be waiting for. What is that? 269. That message was fine. All right, I guess so. It's 4:30. I guess we'll wait for just a bit more. I think there are 46 people watching. Okay. I mean, this thing is going to be live and recorded. It's going to be on YouTube, so get a look presentable. Mm-hmm. All right, I think we can start now. Greg one, is there like a moderator or someone? Yes, it's 30 minutes. I better get started. All right, guys, I'll start. Hi, everyone. Super excited to see all of you here. First of all, thank you so much for joining our workshop. We'll try to be right there on time, and we'll try to show you something exciting today. My name is Ajan. I'm a co-founder at Dropbase. My co-founder Jimmy is here in the chat as well. He'll take care of your questions if I'm unavailable, like while presenting. So yeah, let's just get started. I think I'm going to share my screen. I'll do it here. Can you guys see my screen? Nice. All right, great. So welcome to Dropbase API Challenge. We're at Dropbase, and this is the first time we're hosting the Hackathon North API Challenge. So we're really excited, and then it might be some hiccups along the way, but just bear with us. We'll do our best to make this experience interesting. All right, so let's talk about Dropbase. So Dropbase lets you turn CSV and Excel files into live databases and REST APIs. So think of it as an end-to-end data processing and preparation tool. So we'll let you process data using a spreadsheet-like interface with a pre-built and custom functions. So we made this UI as intuitive as possible to Excel and Google Sheet users. At the same time, it's fully compatible with Python. So if you're a developer, you also find it rather useful. So we designed Dropbase to be data-centric, yet more flexible. So there are two primary use cases for Dropbase. First is a data ingestion flow. And the examples would be loading, getting your CSV file or some JSON file that you have, or maybe loading data from the database into Dropbase, do some processing, do some manipulation, data transformation, and load it into your centralized database. So use cases would be data onboarding, data migration, data processing, and data cleaning. So this is when you take offline data and put it into your primarily database. Data consumption flow would be when you take data from your primarily database, from your production database, apply some transformation, and then share it with the world. So some of the transformations could be maybe you want to remove identifiable information, maybe you want to clean it, or you maybe want to transform it, like transpose it or whatnot. So some of the use cases for data consumption flow would be data analytics, data visualization, reporting, and data serving. So let's just walk through some examples. So let's say you are working for the government of Ontario, and you were tasked to aggregate all the CSV files with the COVID statistics across the cities, and then aggregate them into one centralized database. So the way you can do that is having one sample CSV file, you import to Dropbase, apply some processing steps like deleting some columns, or maybe splitting the names of the province and state into two separate columns. And then you export it to your main database. Once you set up that pipeline, you can use it as a black box. And then anyone within the organization or like cities themselves, they can now send their CSV files into that pipeline, and Dropbase will internally run the same import, process, and export steps and deposit that data into a database. So this is the data ingestion flow. Data consumption flow. Let's say you have that COVID cases in your database, you aggregate it from across Ontario, and then you load data from that database into Dropbase. You import, you run some processing steps, maybe you run some statistical analysis on it, and then you export it to maybe another database that is hooked to your data visualization, or maybe it's hooked to a Canadian application that tracks all the COVID cases across different provinces. So once you set up that pipeline, you can then use it with API, which we just built. And you can use the same pipeline as a black box, and you can set it to run maybe on a schedule, or maybe you have some custom triggers saying every time a new city upload a CSV file, run this new pipeline and update this external database. So this is the data consumption flow example. Hope it's clear. All right, cool. So let's talk about Dropbase API. Dropbase API is a brand new feature. We just launched it, and you guys would be the very first ones to play with it. So we're very excited to see what you guys can build with it. With the Dropbase API, essentially lets you use Dropbase features, Dropbase pipeline features programmatically using REST APIs. Okay, now demo. And demo, as you know, is always challenging. All right, so to get into Dropbase, you just go to this URL, app.dropbase.io, to sign up for a free account. And then once you log in, you'll be greeted with this screen. And here you see all your projects, all your pipelines. And let me dive right into this. We're going to create a new project. And in this project, let's say, since we're talking about COVID cases, right? I'm going to load data from, I just created a gist with sample COVID cases. And this is hosted online. So I'm just going to use that. I'm going to paste this into the URL, or you can always drag and drop the same CSV file here. But we're going to, for now, we're just going to load from the internet. The first step would be import. So we're going to wait for a bit. We're going to import that data. All right, great. So data has been imported, and you can preview your data right here in a spreadsheet-like interface. Before I forget, let me just call this demo. Now that we have this view, let's say I wanna remove this column. So as you can see, I'm running some operations here, but then the steps are being recorded on the left-hand side. Now, maybe I wanna do, let's say with the confirmed, I wanna rename it. Instead of confirmed, I wanna say, I don't know, okay. So once I do that, I can run all the steps, and my data has been updated. As you can see, the ID column has been dropped, and then classifications, instead of confirmed, became okay. These are the examples of pre-built functions that you can use either from the column, or you can add some of them here. These are the ones that were pre-built for you to use. But you can also add your own custom functions. And as I mentioned earlier, Dropbase is fully compatible with Python. And with Python, for data manipulation, we use pandas. So if you guys are familiar with Python and pandas, this looks very familiar. So just for sake of this example, let me just limit to the first 10 records. I'm gonna run, and here we got only first 10 seconds. First 10 records of this data set. Just a side note, each one of these previous steps, processing steps, are also written in Python. So you can click on this little code, and you can see how it's been written. So in the future, let's say you build a pipeline using Dropbase, but then you wanna deploy your own fully production version of a pipeline using Python, you can easily just copy this piece of code from there. Great. So we have our data processed and transformed. Let's export it. So we're gonna export it to, let's say, database. Since I already have an account, I already have my database, this is a Dropbase provided database. You won't have it, so you just click here, create a new database, but I already have it. And I'm gonna create a new table, and I'm gonna call it North 4. So you can see I was testing it. And we're gonna load it to our database. Great, so data has been exported to database. And as you can see, as soon as it was exported, you see this little section pop up, Developer API, which was specifically designed for you guys. So here, what you do is you set up your token so you can access this pipeline now. Now, the reason it only pops up after you export is, if I can go back to previous, you have to complete all the steps before pipeline could be completed. Because you cannot deploy a pipeline with only import and process. It has to export somewhere. That's why only after export step, we give you this feature. But we also give you the token. So once you generate this token, you can now use this token with the API. So I'm gonna use it here, run the pipeline. All of this is documented, so if you are a bit lost right now, don't worry. We'll walk over this in a bit. But here's the link. You'll have access to this endpoints. So you hit this endpoint with post request, and in the token, you paste the token that we just generated from here. And this token is available for 24 hours. And then you upload the file of the URL. Sorry, the URL of the file that you have. So we're gonna just use the same file just for sake of a demo. It's the exact same URL that we used before. And the reason for that is the columns have to match. So yeah, so let me do that. And then once we run it, we're giving job ID. And with this job ID, we can always check the status. All right, so it seems like this job has been finished. Now, what that means is if I create a second pipeline, and now I'm gonna load the data from the database that I just uploaded, which is Hack the North 4. Now, I should see 20 records instead of 10. So as you can see, we have 20 records here. We need to add proper numbering here, but as you can see, 1 to 10, 1 to 10. So first 10 were loaded here with this step, and the second 10 were loaded from our endpoint when we were run the pipeline. Okay, now this is if you want to upload file from the URL and deposit into your database. Now let's say you want to upload file from your local computer, from your local machine. So for that, we have to generate pre-signed URL. So I'm going to use the exact same token from earlier. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm giving this pre-signed URL. So for that, I just need to, okay, I'm going to do this. I already have my file here, which is the exact same file that we used before. And I'm gonna, I'm gonna run this command. So it's just a basic curl request. We're putting file that we have locally, which is file1, into this URL. Oh, I did it wrong. For this, okay, the rule of demo always breaks. Sorry, guys. I need to change this to proper one, and I don't know this yet. So here we need this endpoint, pre-signed URL. Yeah, I'm gonna run it, and then we also given this status. With this status, we can check the exact same get job status endpoint, and we can see that, okay, it's been finished already. All right. Now, if we go, let's say we're going to use the same pipeline. We're going to go back here and we're going to reload the same data from a Hack the North 4 table. And this time we should see 30 records, 10 from our initial export, 10 from our run the pipeline export, and 10 from pre-signed URL. So 10, 10, 10. All right, so each one of them were exported. Now, let's say you're happy with this pipeline, but you want to use this and export some kind of, I don't know, you want to export your CSV file. We can do that. So let's apply some additional transformation steps. I'm going to delete this column. Let's say I'm going to change, male 0. Gonna add another one. Find and replace female, say 1. I'm gonna run additional transformation. Okay, this one is okay. As you can see, the male was replaced first, and then we ended up with this. So for that, to address this, we're just gonna reorganize the steps and rerun it again. Okay, now it's fine. Cool. And now let's just export it, but this time let's export it to a CSV file. And let's say you run some advanced statistical analysis here. Maybe you just write some sophisticated analysis using this process functions. And then once you're happy with it, you just export to CSV file. And then you just share it with the world. Here we should have 30 records. All right, so gender has been changed, and they're exactly 30 records. So I guess the final step that I want to demo you is the REST APIs. So each one of our databases comes with the REST API that sits on the top of your database. And this one is being generated automatically for you. All you have to do is, oh, before we go there, this is your database that was being created, and you can always have all the credentials for it, and you can access it. You can connect using, let's say, your data grid or your pgadmin or whatnot. And this is a Postgres database. Okay. Now, we also have Postgres APIs, which is, let me click here on the key, and I'm going to generate a token for, let's say, 5 hours. Great. Here's my token. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go and look into this database. So all I have to do is use this URL to access my database. And then for authorization, I have to paste my token. Oops, sorry. Right now, I can either just query the entire database like this. And as you can see, all the data is being returned as a JSON object. But here's a cool feature of Postgres. You can also run your custom queries here. You can say, give me data from Hack the North table 4, the one that we just created. And then you say, I want to see the ones where client gender is equal female. And these are all the records where gender is equal female. Or you can just say client gender is equal male. These are the other ones. And you can run this these queries based on your URL right from this endpoint. So all you have to do is URL, authorization token, and now you can power your application, web application, website, or what have you, using the database that you host with the Dropbase. All right, great. So this is the quick demo of the Dropbase. Let's quickly talk about the challenge. Great, so we're here. A demo. Jimmy is taking care of all those questions. If you have any, let me quickly wrap this up. So the challenge. The challenge for you guys is make the best use of Dropbase API to make some compelling applications. So we will be judging your submissions based on creativity and usefulness of the hack. Once you're done with the submission, just submit it through Devpost with some video demoing your progress, and don't forget to add a link to GitHub. Now, prices. This is the exciting part. So we actually we hired a lot of interns from University of Waterloo, and we asked them for some feedback. What would be some of the most exciting prizes that we can give to hackers? And overwhelmingly, everyone responded for headphones. Some really nice noise canceling headphones that lets you focus on your work, on your studies. So went in the market and found the best headphones we can find, and that was the brand new Sony XM4, which just came out like last month. So we hope you enjoy these prices. Each member of the team will be given a headphone. Now, so let me give you an example of some of the potential hacks that you can think. And by the way, by no means we're saying that these are the things that we want you to build. These are just examples of things that you can build using Dropbase API. So first one would be email application. So, we always being overwhelmed with the CSV files being sent or Excel files being sent with your emails, and then we'll lose them. We're gonna find them somewhere. So wouldn't it be nice if you could just forward that email to some address that automatically calls Dropbase API and run some Dropbase pipeline and deposits all that data into a database? That's first example. First, maybe some kind of web scraping. Let's say after every Raptors game, you compile a CSV for all the player statistics and aggregate them in some database. That's another cool example. And maybe you want to build some type of data visualization tool, maybe for COVID. So there are many open source data on COVID cases. Maybe you can automatically scrape the data or pull it from some CSV, some endpoint, aggregate in a database, and build some visual graphs, some displays and charts. So these are just examples of things you can build with Dropbase, but we're looking forward for things that you guys can come up with, some creative ideas that you have. All right. Next one is, how do you get started with Dropbase? It's pretty straightforward. You just go to our website, app.dropbase.io, create a free account, and we also wrote this getting started guide. Maybe a good thing to walk through it a little bit. So we have Dropbase API getting started, where we walk through everything, how to use it, or whatnot. And then we also have Dropbase API for you, where you can refer to see all these endpoints that we just demoed you during this presentation. And as always, if you have any questions, we'll be on Discord, all these days. All right, cool. Oh yeah, and that's pretty much concludes our presentation. I think now I can take your questions. Rate limit, yes, we need to implement that. We don't have it just yet. Just don't tell anyone until someone breaks it. Yeah, rate limit. It's our secret. I think I can stop sharing for now. Are you looking for the best use of Dropbase or the best app that uses Dropbase? It's more of a best use of Dropbase API. Something creative, innovative. It doesn't have to be like super complex, but it's not like few APIs put together either. What does Dropbase offer that others data processing tools don't, such as Pandas? We actually build on the top of Pandas. So we're using Pandas. What we offer is hosted database, and we run all this Python and the processing environment for you. So how do you say it? Think of Dropbase more of a data processing tool instead of like a package like Pandas itself. So does it create a new table in the database for each CSV file you add? You can create new table, or you can point to the same table. And then in the same table, you can either append data at the bottom, or you can just override the entire data set in the table. What input formats can we use? We try to catch a different formattings, but UTF is recommended. Yes, we'll share the getting started guide with you. It's on the other link. This is the in-depth explanation how to use. You cannot Dockerize Dropbase, sorry. In-depth explanation. So this is our initial demo and explanation of a Dropbase. Will be on Discord chat, and we'll answer all your questions. And if there's something you guys stuck at, like, we can always jump on a call, another call like this, and show you more in-depth, I guess, demo and explanation. Can go through making instances. Can you go through making instance of a project? So a database is being created on the export. So when you export data, database is created, and then all the database credentials are being provided for you. Let me show. We have like 6 more minutes. I think I can still show a bit. All right, so we're here, right? So each user will have one free shared Dropbase database provided. And this database will be created at this stage. You can just create new database, but you can only create one. What does custom export do? So here with the custom export, You can write your own Python script. How do you want your data to be exported? And we'll generate the file for you. Okay, it's not a demo if there's not a bug during the demo. Okay, Kevin, so this thing didn't work. We'll fix it. Why did you ask for it? Same database or person. Okay, this thing still works. Can one team collaborate on the same database, or is there? So each team member can create a database. Can create their own Dropbase account, and for each account, Dropbase DB will be created. We don't have team features just yet, so if you are stuck with that, just let us know. We'll try to figure something out for you. Yes, once you create the API for the pipeline, it's all going to be, you guys can share it because it's all based on token. All right. I'm not sure how this workshop works. Is it like hard stop at like 5 o'clock? All right, sounds good. So yeah, then I'll take more questions that you have, guys. But I think we covered most of it. If some of it was a bit confusing, a bit too fast, we always have getting started guide that you can refer to. We're going to be in Discord during the hack and before. So if you have any questions, just feel free to message us, and we'll respond pretty quickly. Samsung. Does automatically handle any errors if you're adding more information into existing database, or do we need to implement? So yes, right now the data export is rather primitive function. So we just append, and if there's some conflicts, it just breaks. It just throws an error. So to answer your question, no, we do not automatically handle errors just yet. No, I was answering the Samsung's question. All right. So it's been 30 minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, I think we can end the call here. 101 to code, sure. So these are the processing steps. And then each one of the processing steps behind the scene, you can see the code underlying it. So each one of these processing steps is fully compatible with Python. Cool. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll be on Discord. If you have any questions, just ping us, me and Jimmy directly. And we're happy to help. We can always jump on a Zoom call to show you to troubleshoot if you have any issues with that. And yeah, looking forward to see what you guys built. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, thank you, and happy hacking. Bye. Now, how do I stop this? Thank you.